All right, today we're diving into something that is, no joke, the single biggest shift in business tech since we all moved to the cloud. I'm talking about AI agents. And really, you can forget what you know about chatbots. We are talking about a whole new level of productivity that's about to completely change how work gets done.
Just think about that for a second. We've all gotten pretty used to AI that can, answer a question or help you write an email. But what if it could do more? What if it could take your goals and actually execute complex, multi-step tasks all by itself? Well, that is the incredible leap we're about to explore. So here's the key distinction, right? It's the difference between responding and doing. Generative AI, the kind of stuff we're all using today, it's a fantastic responder. You ask it something, it gives you an answer. It's basically a passive tool waiting for your command. AI agents, they're totally different. They're active participants. They don't just answer your question, they take action to actually solve your problem. Okay, so here's a really simple way to think about it. An AI agent is basically like a digital employee. You can give it a high-level goal, like, hey, figure out why sales dipped last quarter and put a full report on my desk. And it just goes. It accesses the right data, it uses different tools, and it completes the whole task on its own. Now, this isn't just some cool new piece of technology. This is a massive shift for business. So why should you be paying really close attention to this, like right now? Well, let's just look at the numbers. And this is a big one. A recent survey of execs at large companies found that while only about 10% are using agents today, a whopping 82% plan to integrate them in the next 3 years. That's huge. The early adopters are already moving, and everyone else is scrambling to catch up. The competitive pressure is real. And you know what they say? Follow the money. In 2024 alone, 37% of all venture capital funding, that's a ton of cash, went to AI startups. And which specific areas saw the biggest surge in that funding? You guessed it. Autonomous agents. The smart money is betting big on this. So what are leaders actually expecting to get from this? Well, 71% are looking for a straight-up increase in automation. 64% believe it's going to lead to better customer service. And maybe the most telling number here is that 57% are confident that the massive productivity gains are going to far outweigh any of the risks. And this all translates into some very real, tangible benefits for the business. We're talking about automating all those routine tasks to save money, getting sharper insights so you can make better decisions, speeding up workflows, and giving customers way better support. And maybe best of all, it frees up your people to focus on genuine innovation. That's the real ROI. And this isn't just for one department either. Think about it. In marketing, an agent can personalize campaigns on the fly. In finance, it can automate your forecasting by pulling in live data. In HR, it can even walk an employee through comparing complicated benefits plans. It's a tool that can be used across the entire organization. Okay, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how. What actually makes these things tick? How does an agent go from a simple goal to a fully completed task? Let's take a quick, non-technical peek under the hood. It pretty much works in a 6-step loop. First, it senses. It goes out and gathers all the data it needs. Then, it reasons. It uses a language model to understand what it's all about. From there, it makes a plan and coordinates that plan to make sure everyone's aligned. Then comes the magic part. It acts. It actually goes and does the thing. And finally, and this part's so important, it learns from what happens so it can do it even better next time. But here's the thing. None of this, and I mean none of this, works without one critical ingredient, and that's your data. For an agent to be truly useful in a business, it needs access to your internal private data. Data isn't just part of the equation, it is the fuel that makes the entire engine run. And for that fuel to actually work, it's got to be high grade. That means 3 things. First, it has to be accurate. If your data's wrong, the agent's work is useless, and you lose all trust in the system. Simple as that. Second, efficiency. The agent needs to find the right data and find it fast to be cost-effective. And third, governance. You absolutely need a secure way to control who or what gets to see sensitive information, especially when you start deploying thousands of these agents. So you see the potential, you understand the basics of how it works. The final big question is, how do you actually bring this into your organization responsibly? Let's walk through the strategic playbook for getting it right. First things first, let's be realistic about the hurdles. There are definitely technical challenges, like how to plug this into your old legacy systems. There are huge trust and governance questions around data privacy and making sure the agent's actions are reliable. And then there's the human element. How do you design a smooth workflow so your people can collaborate with these new digital teammates? To get over those hurdles, you really need a solid framework for trustworthy AI, and it's built on 3 pillars. First, you need guardrails. These are your rules of the road that make sure the AI aligns with your company values. Second, evaluation. You have to constantly be testing for accuracy and reliability so you can actually trust the answers. And third, observability. That just means you're always monitoring performance so you can spot problems before they become big headaches. So all of that gives us a really clear 5-step roadmap. First, assess your data and your tech. Get your house in order. Second, make sure every agent project is tied to a real business goal. Third, communicate the why to your whole team. Fourth, invest in training. And finally, and this is so crucial, you have to prioritize security and governance from day one. It can't be an afterthought. And that really brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway of this entire conversation. This is not about replacing people. It's about augmenting them. The true goal here is to create a powerful partnership where the AI handles all the routine, heavy lifting with data, which frees up your human experts to do what they do best, to strategize, to create, and to connect with customers.
So, the technology is here, and it is moving at an absolutely incredible speed. It really does promise to unlock brand new levels of productivity and innovation, and it's going to fundamentally change how business gets done. So, the only question left is your organization ready for it?